This is the world that we live in. I feel myself get tired. This is the world that we live
in. Hello, I'm Georgi Komitkin, and thank you for joining us for BM Finance. On this edition of BM Finance, we present an exclusive interview with our very special guest, put student questions to our in-house experts, and have the BM Finance Challenge. 2 years ago, the teachers attempted to show their financial knowledge. Last year, Finance Club strutted their stuff by answering all the questions put to them. However, we wanted to find out who reigns supreme when it comes to finance. Therefore, we have designed winner-take-all battle royale competition to determine who is king. We now go to Asel with the BM Finance Challenge.
The rules of the challenge are simple. It's teachers versus Finance Club, and the team with the most points wins. I know what you're thinking. Teachers versus students? So unfair. Therefore, we have given teachers one extra member on their team, and for each question they have 2 chances to get it right. For our first question, we start off with some vocabulary. So, Mr. Gie, how do you say and spell money in Russian?
What?
How do you say and spell money in Russian?
Okay, and then the next question is?
I'm sorry, but you must answer that question and your time has run out. Miss Tom, how do you spell and say money in Russian?
Money in Russian.
Yes, you must spell and say money in Russian.
Ruble. R-O-U-B-L-E.
Nice guess, but I think we both know that wasn't Russian. No points for the teachers. Now Antonio, how do you spell and say money in Russian?
I just started learning Russian and money is dangi and it spells day, ya, and mi, yaki, znak, j-i.
That is correct. 1 point for the Finance Club.
And I also learned something else. Pashona.
Stop! Okay, even if you don't speak Russian, I'm sure you can figure out where that was going. Now let's move on to the next question. Mr. D, what is quantitative easing?
It sounds sexual.
Mr. D, though I may agree with you, that is not the correct answer. Now Miss Hotai, what is quantitative easing?
Sounds like something I should be doing in my math class, right? Some sort of quantitative easing.
Whatever you want to do in your math class is your choice, but could you tell me what is quantitative easing?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, once again, no more points for teachers and an opportunity for students to extend their lead. Now Dominic, what is quantitative easing?
Oh, that's easy. The term quantitative easing describes the government printing money in order to increase the money supply in an economy. What happens is, the central bank of the country, which is part of the government, prints money and then uses it to buy government debt. Therefore, it's the government printing money for itself. Oh, that would be nice if it would be so easy in real life.
Oh no, the bubble burst again. I have a money crisis.
I can help you.
A little something from me to you. Thanks, I needed that.
Oh to dream, oh to dream. However, one thing the students don't have to dream about is an extra point, because that's what they get with Dominic's correct answer. Moving on to question 3. Miss Flanagan, what is a credit default swap?
When you get lots of stuff and it makes things better.
Credit default swaps can kind of make things better, depending on who you are. But your answer is not enough for a point. Miss Tom, can you tell us what credit default swap is?
I think a credit default swap is when someone has defaulted on any credit and they swap it for some other credit in the future.
Though you have used the term to define a term, and I've learned in economics that you're not supposed to do that, your answer was partially correct. so that is half point for the teachers. Good job! Now to the students. Umar, could you please tell us what a credit default swap is?
A credit default swap is a form of protection against the possibility of a default. That is the failure of the investment, such as bond. It's kind of like insurance. So happen I have a chart with me to make it easier to explain. Understanding credit default swaps. Let's say an investor buys a Greek government bond. He can buy a credit default swap to protect himself in case the Greek government can no longer pay debts. If the Greek government pays debts, then in the end the investors pay for protection that he never needs. So he loses the money, but he makes money on the bond. However, if the Greek government can no longer pay debts and defaults, then the investor gets back the value of the bond from the protection seller. He doesn't earn interest on the bond, but at least he gets his initial investment back.
That is correct. Now thank you for sharing that chart with us. That brings our current score to 3 for finance students and 0.5 for teachers. Final question. Mr. D, can you please draw a Case-Shiller index for us?
The Case-Shiller index? Mamma mia. Okay.
That looks more like confusion than a Case-Shiller index. Miss Flanagan, can you draw us a Case-Shiller index? That may not be the Case-Shiller index, but that is one creative picture, so I'm giving 1/4 of a point to the teachers. Katarina, can you please draw a Case-Shiller index for us?
The Case-Shiller index is a house price index for the United States.
Don't worry, take your time.
I'm done.
Okay. Well done, Katarina. I didn't even know you had all those colors. Now that brings us to the end of the finance challenge. Final score, 4 points for the students and 0.75 for the teachers. Back to you, Georgie.
After watching that, I think only one thing can be said. Nice try, teachers, but I must be honest and say a little help wouldn't hurt.